Hey, what's up, world, and welcome to the 46th edition of the Take One podcast, aka the 6th edition of the Wrestling Corner. And this is basically just doing, I'm basically doing the Hell in a Cell results. And I just got done watching it. It's late as hell. And yeah, I had some stuff to do, so I'm up late as hell watching this. And man, it was a lot to get through. This pay-per-view was actually, I want to say, better than what I expected. I'm not going to try and make this too long because I got a lot of notes, but I'm going to try and get through this as quick as possible. And just give you my thoughts. I already put out my predictions. You can, well, I mean, it's probably too late to check it out or whatever, but yeah, it's the early morning, so you're going to hear me kind of like sniffling and all that stuff. I'm not sick, but, you know, whatever. But yeah, I'm going to get right into it. So the pre-show, I really didn't care for it. I don't know who won. I didn't care to look it up. More than likely, it was Benjamin and Gable. So there we go. If they didn't win, then you know it's whatever. But I think they won. I don't think it was no question. But in any case, the first match of the night was the Usos. For the first official match for the actual event was the Usos versus the New Day for the Raw, or now the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And this is actually a pretty good match. It was actually a pretty good match to even start it off. Like, I was impressed. Like I said, I came into this pay-per-view event with low expectations. Like, if you heard my predictions, you know that I really wasn't expecting too much from this. The Shane and Owens match, that was really the only match that I was looking forward to. And kind of like the Uso New Day. And so the match started off, they started grabbing weapons and basically just started off with like a bang. And you could tell that the New Day, they even from just the promo before the match started, the New Day, they were like serious. Like they wasn't playing no games. They wanted this shit to end. So they basically was just going through this match. It was Xavier and Big E in the match, and Kofi was on the outside, and they were about business. They were like actually more aggressive than they usually be in any other match. And so Big E, I don't know what the move is called, but Big E does a rock bottom-esque knee. Or what the heck did I write? Oh, yeah. Okay, now I remember. I'm tweaking. He does a rock bottom-esque move to Xavier's knees to one of the Usos. So basically, you know, he just slams them on Xavier Woods' knees or whatever. And that was actually a pretty cool move. They end up trapping him basically in the corner of the cage. Oh yeah, this is the Hell in a Cell match. I just thought I had to mention that. But they trap Jay inside of the corner of the cage with kendo sticks, putting the kendo sticks through one hole of the cage and the other hole, basically just trapping him right there in the corner and hitting him with kendo sticks. And then Jay is later on in the match. Jay holds up Big E on his shoulders. And Jimmy runs him into the cage, basically jumps out the ring and rams him into the cage. And then after that, it's 2 frog splashes to no pinfall. And that's when the Usos bring out the handcuffs. I'm just running through this stuff. I'm not going, basically, I'm running it down, but I'm running through it quick. And then Woods, they have him on the ring post on the outside, and they just start jamming him with freaking kendo sticks, and that was actually a pretty cool set. I'm not trying to make it seem like it was like, you know, like it was a good thing, but still in the same sense, like you could tell that they were going all out, that they were putting on the show. Next it was like Big E, he was all about business, just running down the Usos, running them into the cage and just going all out. And then Big E tried to get the pinfall, but no pinfall. And then after that, Big E gets two super kicks from each of the Usos, just from each of the Usos singly, and then they both do the double super kicks, and then they do the double frog splash, but then Woods interferes, and then they start hitting Woods with candlesticks. And Woods, he fights back. He give a little fight back or whatever. But then the Usos just it becomes too much. And then the Usos, do the double frog splash with the chair on top of Woods, and they get the three. They get the 3 count. And now the Usos are the new champs. I didn't expect this. I thought the Usos was going to retain, but I guess this is the end of the rivalry, that the Usos are going to get some new competition. So I want to see where this goes after that comes SmackDown Live this Tuesday. And then the next match after that was Orton versus Rusev. This was a match I really wasn't really attentive to. It was okay match. Randy's still my guy, but it was just the programs they putting them in is just not working. But Rusev dominates in the beginning. I'm sleepy right now, so if I start messing up people's names or just whatever, then that's the reason why. There's no other reason. But Rusev dominates in the beginning of the match. Orton goes for an RKO attempt, and it just fails. Rusev does a fall away slam later on to Orton to the barricade. Later on, Rusev hits the steel post, trying to run into Orton, and it's kind of reminiscent of the whole Cesaro thing, where what happened at No Mercy when Cesaro got his teeth knocked up. But Rusev, he called himself or whatever, and I guess whatever, he hit his nose and blah blah blah. And then after that, it was a back and forth, and then Randy Orton comes in with a second RKO attempt, but fails again. Rusev attempts to do his finisher on Orton, but Orton escapes. Rusev goes back to dominating. He's basically he's showing that he wants to win this. He wants that celebration, And then one of the spots that really kind of got me, because I've never seen this, was that when Randy does his rev up when he's doing for the RKO, when he's banging the mat, freaking Rusev grabs his arms, flips over, and reverses it, and about to put him in the accolade, but then Orton slips out and turns it into an RKO, and he gets him for the win. And that was what I predicted. Next match is Styles versus Corbin versus Dillinger. Now, earlier in the match, more than likely in the pre-show, because I didn't see this shit, Dillinger pleaded his case to Daniel Bryan about, he pinned Corbin, so he feels like he should be up in the match and make it a triple threat. And so Daniel Bryan said, yeah. So we got a triple threat match for the United States Championship. And so basically in the beginning of the match, Corbin, he tries to back out, tries to get away, but then he gets caught by Styles and Dillinger on the outside, but then they chase him back inside and start beating him down. And then they get rid of him for a little bit. Then there's just Styles and Dillinger going after that. And then Corbin comes back up in there, starts tossing around some punches and all that good stuff. Corbin, one of the high spots of the match that I saw was that Corbin tossed Styles up high as hell. He tosses him across the ring high as hell. Dillinger, later on in the match, he wants to do a possible suplex off of the top rope with Styles, but Styles reverses it and basically trips him down to where Dillinger hits his head on the top turnbuckle. It's a lot of reversals between Dillinger and Styles, but Styles basically overcomes him and puts him in the calf crusher. But this is interrupted by Corbin because, of course, Corbin wants to win, so this is not an elimination match. So he pulls him out of the match. Later on, Styles does actually a pretty damn good 450 splash onto Corbin. and he gets him down for the pin, but then is interrupted by Dillinger. After that, Dillinger gets a flying forearm, and this is what ends the match. He gets up to, about to go pin him, but then Corbin, actually, this is actually pretty funny. Corbin kicks his knee, and then kicks him out the ring and steals the pin to become the new United States champion. And I actually like this match. It was actually a pretty decent match. I like the finish. I mean, I don't know how I feel about Corbin being the U.S. champion. I want to see how he carries it. I don't know how long he's going to have it for. But, I mean, I like the ending of the match. I felt like it wasn't like a fuck finish. I felt like, this is a way to do it. I mean, Corbin, he's desperate. Like, he's wanting to do this, so he's been wanting to win the championship after he lost the Money in the Bank contract or whatever. He wants that championship, or a championship. So I feel like all throughout these past weeks, he's been kind of desperate to win a match, to get that momentum and all that stuff, and he's been kind of like falling short, so he needed this win, and I felt like that was like one of the best ways to do it. Of course, you ain't gonna have him win clean, but still in the same sense, I love the way it ended, especially just the way he was kicking AJ Styles out the ring. But in any case, the next match was Charlotte versus Natalya, and basically Natalya dominates. Natalya goes after Charlotte's left leg after injuring it. And certain parts, I get, you're supposed to have that momentum and that adrenaline. I guess you can play it off that way, but yeah, Charlotte just really wasn't selling, the injury that much. I mean, she started to sell it more later on, but I don't know. It's just certain spots she just wasn't selling it to the point where it was believable. Charlotte tries to climb the top rope, and she gets caught by Natalie in a sit down power bomb. I said Natalya. I'm putting Natty down here, so yeah. Like I said, I'm tired, so if I stumble over some names or just whatever, or words or whatever, that's the whole reason. And so she gets put in the sit down power bomb, but to no 3 count. And another pin by Natty, but another kick out. Then later on, Charlotte tries a pin, but to no 3 count later on. And then Charlotte does a backflip to Natty, but mostly misses her. And this is basically her jumping out of the ring out to Natalya. And she kind of catches her, but kind of don't. She hits the floor and hits that knee. And I'm glad that, she sold that to the point where, okay, yeah. Because if she wasn't selling that, then it would have been yo, you need to do something. Because I already had a problem with her not really selling it like that. So, yeah, that would have thrown me off majorly. But, yeah, she ended up selling it. And then after that, this is the part that I don't get. So, all throughout the match, Charlotte is hurt. She hurt her knee and all that stuff. And Natalya ends the match by hitting Charlotte with a steel chair. I don't get that, only for the simple fact of, if she's hurt, literally she jumped out the ring and hurt herself more. Why wouldn't you capitalize on that? Why would you end the match in the disqualification? I get she's a heel, but in storyline, logically, it doesn't make any sense. So that ending, that ending I had a problem with. And then this is a nitpick. After the match, if a match ends in DQ and it's a championship match, what they usually do, they say, whoever got the win because of disqualification, whoever got hit, they say this person is the winner of the match, and then they play their music, and then they cut their music off, and then they say, but still something champion, whoever, what the fuck. And they didn't do it this time. They said they just let Charlotte wins, and they play her music. and they didn't acknowledge that Natalya is still champion. So, I mean, more than likely, everyone gets it. Like, everyone is not dumb. Like, oh, well, I guess Natalya, she lost the championship. Like, no. I mean, we get it, but still in the same time. I guess, like I said, it's a nitpick. But in any case, I'm losing my spot in my notes. And so the next match after that was Jinder Mahal versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And this was kind of, I wasn't looking forward to this match. I really wasn't looking forward to this match. But we get some back and forth with them. The Singh brothers try to interfere, but then they get beat up by Shinsuke. And this happened later on in the match. Like, this is a match I really didn't care for. So, yeah, this is on the outside. And so Shinsuke basically puts what's his name? Jinder Mahal. I just said his name. Jinder Mahal. Head kind of like facing out the ring, and then he hits him with some knees. Gets up on the side of the ring and about to jump down with a knee, but then he moves. Shinsuke hits his knee on the ground. Later on, Jinder hits Shinsuke with the suplex on the outside of the ropes. Well, from the outside of the ropes. Basically, he was climbing in or whatever, and he suplexes him on the inside. And then he hits him with a drop kick, and he tries to pin him with no luck for a 3 count. The Singh brothers, they interfere again, but then basically they get put out by the referee. And then Shinsuke does the roll up pin with no 3 count. And then the Singh brothers interfere once again, basically coming out arguing with the ref. And then kind of after that, Shinsuke hits Jinder with his finisher, but then he's too close to the ropes, so Jinder grabs the ropes, and that breaks up the count. Shinsuke reverses Jinder's finisher after Jinder does his finisher, but then gets pushed into the turnbuckle, and then Jinder plants him with his finisher for the win. And it was I guess you could say it was a clear-cut win, but not completely, not without the interference before that, and that played, of course, it played a major role in it. This match I really didn't care for. I mean, it was decent. It wasn't trash. It wasn't garbage. At least I thought it wasn't garbage. It was decent. I've seen better matches. And so the next match after that was a match that I completely forgot about. That I'm not even gonna lie, I completely forgot about. It was Dolph Ziggler versus Bobby Roode, and I'm gonna just skip through this because I got a lot of notes for the last match. Basically, I didn't understand the record stopping of Dolph Ziggler's music. I mean, I got it. Don't get me wrong, I got it with the whole gimmick of what he's doing now. But I don't get why they had to play that sound. They could have literally just cut his music off, turn everything black, and him just walk out. They could have just did it like that. But his music stops. Dolph Ziggler walks out to no music, just kind of like a dark with a spotlight on him. After that, the match starts. Dolph is basically taking control of it. And later on, he puts him in the sleeper. He gets out. Bobby Roode gets out. It's a back and forth after that. Dolph Ziggler does a DDT to no 3 count. It actually was a pretty good DDT. I love the way Dolph Ziggler does his DDTs. That's one thing I can get to him. And then he puts him in another sleeper hold. After that is a break. Ziggler later on does the Famouser, or the Flame-Master, however you want to pronounce it. And then later on he does a little bit later. I ain't gonna say later on, because that seemed like it's a long time from now. And this match did kind of seem like it took forever. But anyway, and so later, after all of this kind of like mocking people, I mean, in a sense, he mocks, what's his name? Shawn Michaels. But really, a lot of his movesets and stuff and just the way he is kind of is reminiscent of Shawn Michaels. So him doing the Sweet Chin music wasn't really anything out of his character. I could see if like, I would say, I wouldn't even say Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, yeah, it would probably be out a little bit more. But like if, say a person like freaking Jinder Mahal was doing something like that, and he did the whole, stomping in the corner, revving up, tuning up the band, as they said. Then that would seem out of place, that would seem like, okay, yeah, but with Dolph Ziggler, in a sense, it seemed normal, so I don't know. I mean, you can kind of guess with his gimmick that, yeah, he's mocking, Shawn Michaels, but in any case, it's whatever. And so he does the Sweet Chin Music attempt, but it's a lot of reversals going on. And some of the reversals are the roll-up pins where Dolph Ziggler tried to roll Bobby Roode up and pull the tights, but then he flips over, and then Bobby Roode does the same thing, and then Ziggler flips him over, and it just keeps going until Roode basically gets the win. And right after he gets the win, Dolph Ziggler hits him with the zigzag, and then walks out the mat, and then walks out the ring. And Bobby Roode, by the look on his face, it's not over. It's not over with. And so, getting to the last match, I'm making good time. Getting to the last match is Shane versus Owens, and this is the match that I was waiting for. The match starts off with Shane doing a baseball slide to basically just start off the match, hitting Kevin Owens before he even gets in the ring. They brawl outside for a little bit. Shane kicks the door into Owens after Owens is like mocking him with his face on the door for some strange apparent reason. Kicks the door in, and so they get inside the cell. And a little bit later, Shane's face is raked up against the cage while Kevin Owens says to his kids, saying basically he just does it in front of his kids, and just shows basically just kind of like total disrespect. And then he says to his kids, he yells out, "I should be your role model." And this is the thing I love about Kevin Owens. Like, after watching this match, Kevin Owens, he is up there for me. He's up there because he is a total heel. Especially now, he is a total heel. Kevin Owens is, man, I love this guy. I love this guy. And I'm not afraid to say it. I love this guy. Kevin Owens is one of my favorites. I mean, he was now, but he's bumped up there. Like, I genuinely, like, he is one of my favorites as of now, as a current WWE superstar, or current WWE wrestler. I don't even want to say superstar. But yeah, Kevin Owens is up there. He is up there. And this match just completely showed, just talking trash all throughout the match and just doing like disrespectful, despicable things to Shane in front of his kids. Like that's a complete heel. But in any case, and so Owens later does a swanton onto Shane, but instead of actually getting the full effect, Shane lifts his knees up in basically a reversal, and then Shane gets back on the offense in a little bit. Owens gets the upper hand after Shane crashes from a flip that he does off the top rope, and then Owens counters off of that and does not counters, but he capitalizes on that and does a splash to no 3 count, which was like, I ain't gonna say surprising, but it was like, yeah, that was one of them times where it's like, yeah, that probably should have been the 3 count. And so he does a pump up power. Well, he tries to do a pump up power bomb, but Shane catches him in a submission, and then that submission turns back into a power bomb on the outside to the steel steps, which he lays Shane onto. Shane basically, Kevin Owens takes out a table and he puts Shane on it when she about to just run off the ring and do a cannonball onto Shane, but Shane moves, so Kevin Owens catches nothing but the table. And then after that, after that, Shane takes half of the table and starts beating Kevin Owens with it. Once he gets him down, Shane calls for the referees to open up the door, and the referees are looking at him like, what? Now, I get, like, I don't know, like, I don't get this. Okay, Hell in a Cell, I guess the cell is supposed to keep you, but at the same time, history has shown people climb to the top of the cage. You know, you can brawl outside, whatever the hell. But in any case, the referees are looking at them like, you know, like kind of like they don't have like the, you know, the key or anything. And I'm like, who the hell locked the door then? Why y'all gonna lock them inside and not have a key? Like, why y'all looking clueless? But I guess that's the setup for Shane, you know, getting the bull cutters. But in the same sense, they should have had something earlier to where they locked the thing, but the keys fail or something, and then Kevin Owens end up throwing the keys out the ring, or, you know, out the cage or something like that, out the cell. And, you know, it would have been a better setup. But just to have that is like, motherfucker, he's the commissioner. He's asking you to open up the door. Open up the damn door. It shouldn't be a question. I can see if he's just a regular wrestler, but, you know, whatever. Let me cut through this before I even like start rambling and just start talking more about that. But that just didn't make sense to me. Where am I at in my notes? Yeah, so he grabbed the bull cutters. And he literally struggles. Like, you can hear him like, like, it was actually pretty funny. It took him a good little minute, but he finally got the cage. Finally got the chains broken and opened up the cage. And then they go on the outside brawl. Owens hits Shane with the DDT. And he puts Shane on the tables on the other side. And he's like climbing on a barricade, and he's about to basically, I guess you could say, do an elbow, but he kind of thinks like he should just go up to the top of the cage. So then he jumps down, goes to the top, and while he's up there, he's contemplating on whether he wants to jump or not. And so he's like having second thoughts. He's walking to the edge and then walking back, kind of like just conflicting with himself, like, just do it. You know, you can kind of figure out what's going through his mind. While he's doing all that, Shane gets up and then climbs up the top, and they start to brawl on top of the cage. And then one thing that I've noticed, because I was wondering why Shane was like jumping up on Kevin Owens, but it was seeming like, I don't know, he was trying to do something, but something wasn't getting done. Like, it was like a miscommunication. But then when they finally, when Kevin Owens finally did the pump up powerbomb, it dawned on me like that's probably what they were setting up for. But Shane had his signals crossed, and he was doing some like weird type shit, just jumping on Kevin Owens like that was his, you know, like he was happy to see him or something. I don't know. But in any case, Kevin Owens, he does the pump up power bomb to hold on. Yeah, hold on. Man, my notes are crazy. Excuse me, y'all. My notes are crazy. Okay, so yeah. Throughout this, they do. Matter of fact, let me just go from the beginning. Well, not the beginning, but you know, whatever. So they basically have several slams throughout the whole, through the top. Basically, kind of like, I guess you could say, teasing maybe a fall through, just like we witnessed in the past with Mankind and stuff like that. So those a lot of like attempt fall throughs or whatever, but no avail. And so there was a powerbomb attempt by Kevin Owens, but it was reversed by Shane. And later, that's when he does the pump up powerbomb, and it still holds up. Like it didn't crash through. So I was kind of like shocked by that. So after that, Kevin Owens climbs down the cage, and Shane catches him midway, and they basically just kind of start brawling. Like, no, I ain't gonna say brawling, but just kind of like, I guess you could say brawling on the side of the cage. And so that's when Shane basically bashes his head up against the cage, and then knocks him off, and then he falls. Kevin Owens falls through the announcer table, and then that's when Shane gets down, and then instead of pinning him, he has a idea to put him on the other table to basically crash through, to jump off the top of the cell and crash through, and that way he'll pin him right then and there. So he puts him on the table, on the other table, climbs up to the top of the cell, and then he basically does the, you know, the cross or whatever before he jumps. And when he jumps, at first, I'm probably just like everybody else. I just thought like, okay, Kevin Owens gonna move or something like that, and then Kevin Owens moves out the way, and Shane crashes into the table. But it shows that Sami Zayn pulled Kevin Owens off the table, which was shocking. I'm like, what? This is the kind of like turns I don't get. Is that when somebody basically beats down somebody within the inch of their life, but then that person that got beat down within the inch of their life helps the person that beat them down. That I don't get. This storyline, I don't know if they thought it through. But so Zayn helps Kevin Owens, and he's like looking shocked at like all this stuff mess that like Shane actually did this, which I mean Shane has done stuff like this in the past, so this shouldn't be a shock. But in any case, so the paramedics and come out there, and they about to put Shane on a stretcher. And then Zayn has this idea to pull Kevin Owens over to put him on top of Shane so he can get the win. And which he does, and he basically forces the referee, tells the referee to go ahead, count it. Referee counts 1, 2, 3, and Owens wins the match. Man. And that ends the pay-per-view. So, yeah. This pay-per-view was, I could say, actually way, I ain't gonna say way, but it was better. I say a little bit more better, a little bit, I ain't gonna say way better because it makes it sound like it was just off the chain, and it wasn't. I mean, this is a good pay-per-view. It's better than what I thought it was gonna be. If it wasn't for the New Day Uso match in this last match, this pay-per-view wouldn't have been anything. It would have been just, it would just been a pay-per-view, and that's what it like. But the first and last match are the two matches that set it off. Like I said, the AJ Styles, Corbin, and Todd. Wow, I told y'all I'm sleepy. Todd Dillinger match. That was actually pretty good. I enjoyed that, but it wasn't a high caliber match. Like the Uso, New Day, and Shane and Kevin Owens match. So those are the two matches that actually set it off for me. Because of what all happened within the sale, I could say that was the best match of the night. The second, at a close second, was the Uso New Day. All the rest of the matches was, okay. I could say the third best match would be freaking the Styles Dillinger Corbin match. But other than that, the other matches just they were there. But in any case, yeah, this is, like I said, this is actually a pretty good pay-per-view. It was better than what I originally thought. And a rating out of 10, I rate this 8. And that's only because of the 3 good matches out of this. This is out of the pay-per-view, and I'm not counting the pre-show, but it was 7 matches, and 3 out of 4, I guess you could say, is bad, but those matches were actually pretty damn good enough to give it some redeeming qualities, to not put it at a just type of match, as just another type of pay-per-view. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. So I'll give it an 8. Just because of those 3 matches. And yeah. So those are my thoughts on this Hell in a Cell pay-per-view 2017 WWE and all that stuff. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I wasn't trying to make this too long. I was trying to keep all my podcasts and all that stuff at a certain time and all that stuff. I ain't trying to take up too much of your time, but yeah, man, I enjoyed this pay-per-view more than what I thought I would. I know I keep saying that, but in any case. So yeah, and that wraps up this edition of the Take One Podcast, aka the Wrestling Corner. And yeah, go ahead, get this video a like if you guys liked it, which I know you did. I hope you did. And subscribe to my channel. Turn your notifications and all that good stuff. And if you like anything else other besides wrestling, like movies and shows and stuff like that, I mean, subscribe to my channel because I'm going to have a lot more stuff on to there. I'm planning on doing a music review, or music reviews, real soon. Real soon. So look out for that, as well as the other videos. Everything is down there in the description below. And I believe that's all I have for you guys tonight. Well, I am recording this tonight, but whenever you hear this is all I have for you guys on this edition of the Take One Podcast. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.